Hello and welcome again to Jacob's Toys 5-minute figure reviews. Please do like, share, subscribe, all of those things. All support to the channel is very much appreciated. Let's look at the X-Men 97 wave from Marvel Legends. And I am incredibly hyped for this show, for this wave of figures, just because I was a massive X-Men fan back in the day when the cartoon aired the first time round. In this video we're taking a look at Bishop. Now this is exciting. What's interesting about this wave is that we've got a few new hairstyles. We've had Storm with a new hairstyle, we've had Bishop with a new hairstyle. And I'm curious because there's not supposed to be a huge time jump in the show. I mean, I don't know. That was what I read at one point. Maybe they've changed that. But Bishop is definitely sporting a different style haircut than he had previously. Now, his costume is pretty much spot on. This is exactly how I remember Bishop. This is how a lot of people, when you think of the character Bishop, this is what you think of. He's lacking in the armory department, should we say. He's got a much smaller gun than we've seen previously, but it's still quite sizable, and he's got that nice kind of holster on his back, which is cool and very in keeping with Bishop. Now, do be careful when you're taking his hands off, because the little cuffs of his glove do come off, so just make sure you don't kind of lose them as you change the hands over. But you have got an alternate hand here, so you've got a trigger finger hand as well. So just going to put that in there just so we can see what it looks like. Yeah, very nice. Very cool. He's completely pinless, which is an absolute bonus and just looks really aesthetically pleasing. And his scarf is much bigger as well. He's got a bigger scarf than I remember previously, which just kind of works with the character. He's quite solid, he's quite bulky in comparison to the other figures in this wave, and all round just a very cool looking Bishop. Now, we have had a Bishop previously in Marvel Legends in this costume, so I will grab that shortly so that we can do a side-by-side comparison, but I think this is definitely one of my favourites of the wave. Now, here's the previous one that we had. The colours are slightly different. Let me just take these guns off, because some of these are extra guns that I just kind of gave him. Let's just sort his feet out. But there we go. Essentially, it's the same costume, it's just different colours. I much prefer the yellow as opposed to the orangey yellow. However, he has got the long hair on the old figure and a little bit of detail in there on his shoulder as well. But essentially, it's the same figure. It's the same size. It's the same kind of build. So they've definitely used the same mold here for this new Bishop in particular. I just prefer the paintwork. I prefer the paint on the new one. Now, the old one has got a little bit more when it comes to pouches. So he's got like the shoulder strap pouch, and he's got a couple of pouches on his belt as well. And the holster on his back is obviously a lot bigger because the firearm that he's carrying is a lot bigger. Let's just see if we can actually do a head swap. I'm pretty sure we can. I'm sure I've seen people online doing a head swap, but yeah, the skin tone's slightly different. The older one's a little bit darker than the newer one, but it does work and it doesn't actually look that off. Let's just make sure I get there on. Yeah, there we go. Look, that works fine. So if you do have the old Bishop, you can actually just do a head swap and have a nice new pinless Bishop. But taking a look at this new Bishop head, that is definitely well done. And it's difficult to kind of just get rid of that and replace it with the old one, because the old one's a little bit older now and it doesn't look as realistic as this new one. And bizarrely, the new head looks quite small on the old body, even though they are very similar sizes. I would even go as far as saying that they're made from the same mould. The scarf on the new one doesn't come off by the looks of it, but yeah, I'm going to pop that head back on. The scarf on the old one does come off though. Now, I was on the fence as to whether I was going to swap my old Bishop out for the new Bishop, but now I've got him in hand, I think it's a definite. I think I'm definitely going to be swapping it over. It's just that yellow, the crisp yellow and the lighter blue just looks better. Add in the pinless element of the figure and the realism in that face sculpt. It's just a much better figure in my opinion. But the old one does definitely hold some value and some nostalgic elements to it, because it's Bishop with like the kind of mullet long hair as well. Yeah, well, it's a difficult one. But no, I think for my collection, I'm gonna keep this new one. He is definitely a modern upgrade. Yeah. And if this is how he looks in the show, I think he's probably going to become a bit of a favourite. And of course, he's advertised as part of the main roster as well, so I think he's going to have quite a significant part in the new X-Men 97. Speaking of X-Men 97, do check out my channel, because I've taken a look at this entire Wave 1, and I say Wave 1 because they're flying off the shelves, so I'm sure there's going to be a second wave, but I'm looking at the entire wave of Marvel Legends X-Men 97 figures. And of course, do like, share, subscribe, and all of those things. All support to the channel is very much appreciated. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you soon.